Today, we are taking down Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy. He has two phases to the fight, and he has two full health bars. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't gotten past the first health bar, I feel bad. But the first one is the God-Devouring Serpent. It really shouldn't be that big of a struggle for you. This should be pretty easy mode when it comes to bosses. And then the second one, if it gives you some more trouble, sure. But when you first walk in, you actually pick up the weapon that I'm using. It only has all of these crazy range moves in this fight, which is kind of a bummer. I like the jumping power attack. It's pretty quick. You can also use the Ash of War, which is this. And there's two sequences, I guess, if you want to call it, to the Ash of War. You can actually use it back to back, and at first he brings down the weapon, and then he'll swipe up with it. The swipe up does, at least for me and like my specific character scaling, I was getting, I think it was right around 3 times the amount of damage out of the second swipe. So it's definitely worth doing it. When he rears up and does the bite, you can roll pretty much any way. It's fairly easy to avoid. One thing that confused me about this, and I would love to see people comment and let me know if they know anything about this, is that when I was doing this Ash of War, that's what happens if you run out of FP. It's pretty hilarious. When I was using this Ash of War, he wasn't always staggered, but I had a friend and I watched him play this, and every single time he used the Ash of War, it staggered them. So literally all he had to do was just stand there and use the Ash of War over and over and over again. Like, he didn't do anything else, and he got through the first phase and the second phase. When he digs his head down into the ground and makes the ground erupt, I literally have no idea how to avoid that. I'm guessing that it's a timing and maybe you need to jump. But yeah, if you happen to know how to avoid that, I would also like to hear about that in the comments. It'd be super helpful to me and anybody else who finds this video. So like I said, this God-Devouring Serpent phase is, it's pretty simple. Like, you can jump attack, you can use the Ash of War. You should be able to get through it within the first couple tries and like figure out, just, avoid when he rears up and tries to eat you, because that does major damage. It's hilarious, actually, if you get caught, like when you're low enough health to die, he will literally swallow you whole, and like you get to see you travel down into his stomach from the outside. It's a pretty funny little cutscene. The only difference, really, this is a fairly easy boss fight. But when he turns into Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy, Rykard, however you say it, I don't know, he pulls out the sword, and that's probably the most dangerous thing that he has. As you can see, it's not incredibly difficult to get swiped by it, but you can just stay a decent distance away, and when he does the stab into the ground there, you've got some time to take a swing at him, but the fireball is following, so be careful. You really just need to roll around these sword attacks and then either use your Ash of War if you're getting good staggers out of it. Again, I don't know what your character build is. And use jump power attacks, and you should be able to take this guy down pretty easily. If you are having major trouble with this, like you've tried it over and over again, you still can't beat him, I would suggest going and upgrading the weapon, because you can do that. This run that I have, there's no upgrades on my weapon at all. But upgrading it actually makes the damage much significantly higher. I believe it upgrades with Somber Smithing Stones, which means that you can get it up to +10. If you don't have the Somber Smithing Stones, make sure you check out the Smithing Stone belt bearings. It's extremely helpful being able to buy unlimited amounts of those. When these skulls came out, I only did this run a couple times before I beat this guy, but I don't know if the skulls can hit you, to be honest. I just started kind of running around because they looked big and scary, but they kept on just disappearing near me, so you might be able to just sort of ignore those and keep on taking pot shots at them. But again, better safe than sorry, just run away. You can see I'm getting major damage out of that second Ash of War, but I usually wait to make sure that the first one actually staggers him, because if you try to go and do the second one, that's how I died in like the first few runs, was just trying to spam that Ash of War over and over again. Oh, I'm glad he did that in this run. Most of the time when he stabs down into the ground, he'll just do a single, but one thing that he can really get you with is he'll do that multiple stab down into the ground. If you upgrade your weapon and you still are having trouble with this boss, I cannot suggest the Mimic Tear more. The Mimic Tear is so solid. It distracts the boss. He's constantly trying to take out the Mimic Tear, and you can just go to town with the Ash of War. Hopefully this video helped anybody who had issues with Rykard. Will somebody tell me how to pronounce his fucking name in the comments? And while you're there, you should leave a like, and you should also go subscribe to the Chat Pack channel. There's a whole playlist of these Elden Ring tutorials. There's a Mario baseball documentary, lots of Mario baseball footage, some Fortnite that our buddy Trevor likes to play. We even have a podcast. All of that is there at the Chat Pack channel, so check it out. And as always, good luck in the lands between.